Well, hello guys, hello. Welcome back to the Big Fat Psychic channel. I'm so pleased to be reading again for you today. Oh my god, did you see those subscribers shoot up? I think I got 150, 60, 70 in a week. I mean, that's just phenomenal, isn't it? Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. I was telling my husband, but he doesn't share the same enthusiasm. Told you, there's no big heads in our house. Anyway, I just want to say thank you, and for all those that have let me know, I have reached out. If I've missed anybody, it's not intentional. Sometimes when you go and make a comment on somebody else's comment, I don't always get to see them for some reason, so you know, it takes me ages to try and go through them. But thank you so much anyway, and I hope we all continue to enjoy these readings. Okay, so today I'm going to ruin myself by doing a very sensitive subject. Now, a subscriber emailed me asking me, you know, if it wasn't too contentious for me to read into. Okay, so I don't know what title I will use for this, but I just feel like, you know, we're going to go into it. It's the big trans debate, okay? The big trans debate. And, you know, I have been sitting on this for a couple of weeks because you really need to consider all sides of the situation, okay? So, you know, from a man's perspective, from a woman's perspective, from a woman with kids' perspective, you know, the trans you know, people who are sort of like insisting on women only spaces and all sorts, okay, which should hopefully all come out in this reading. Now, I checked with the universe and spirit, and I've kind of gathered that they want me to do it through the reading. Cheeky buggers. Gave me the Queen of Cups, okay, and that is my card. I can also have been the negative side as well. You know, a negative side of the Queen of Cups would be, you know, not being able to deal with feelings, struggling. So, you know, I think we all have that in us, don't we? And as well, a lot of the time, I have to work out whether I'm picking up on somebody else or whether it's actually me. And for some reason, I always assume everything is to do with me. And then I find out later it's for, you know, a member of the family or a friend or, you know, something that I read about. So, yeah, but I still feel, is that me? Is that horrible person me? Anyway, I was upright, so it means I'm going to be on my game today. Okay, so let's go for it then. Has there been so like a rising, okay, so rising numbers, has there been an increase, a substantial increase in the last few years of, you know, people to identify as trans, which, by the way, is transformation or transition, you know, to becoming, you know, like a maggot becomes a butterfly. Is that true? No, that's a caterpillar. Bad excuse. Anyway, come on. You know, has there been? Absolutely. You know, absolutely there has been. You know, a lot of people are certainly going to the GPs, okay, and seeking advice. I'm also seeing the, you know, males. This is male generated, so there's a lot of men that this affects, you know, wanting to transition. I'm also getting authority as well. I'm getting, everything's popping into my head. So we've got schools with teachers, you know, talking about this. This is set by the boards of education, you know, doing this. You have solicitors, lawyers, doctors, you know, they're all raising concerns about this. It's just unnatural in the way that this movement has grown. I do feel it is a movement, and I feel like politics comes into play as well. So you have an awful lot of males in this situation, more so than females, I would say. So at the moment, you know, we've got that it's a massive increase, that all these, GPs, doctors, whatever, surgeons, they're all being, in a way, inundated, okay, inundated. I think it's very sad, okay, I think it's very sad that people are so unhappy that they have to look for a label for it because they simply can't explain their feelings. Who influences? No, why does, certainly a male want to become a female? Could it be that they feel ignored, Could it be that they don't know? Listen, pals, I tell you now, a woman doesn't know how she feels, what she wants, or anything, so you're going to have a job. It's like double the workload, isn't it, eh? All those hormones, estrogen, the HRT, the sexual parts. I mean, it's as awful for a woman to be in a woman's body, than as it is for a man. But we deal with things differently, but we don't escape, okay? I'll be coming on to the female movement side as well. It's because, again, they can't explain this feeling, that comes over. We never had much of this in our day, and when you did, it was behind closed doors, okay? And that's no shame. That's no shame whatsoever when it's in your own house, you do what you do. But I think social media and everything, and that bloody Sam Smith, I mean, he's just a wreck of a person. He started out knowing who he was, writing through his music. He got us, even I liked some of it. I mean, quite a lot was a bit sad. He was Adele II, wasn't he? But to see the way that he's portraying himself at the moment and influencing your grandchildren, your children, your great-grandchildren, I mean, it's very, very concerning. Has social media, what impact has social media had on people wanting to be and identify themselves as non-binary or trans? Because they're glorifying it, social media glorifies it. You've got influencers, top YouTubers, and they glorify it, and it's all get together, you can have your own party of trans, the non-binaries can stand over there and have their party. All this is all about, it's made to seem fun. It's made to seem all your friends as well, that, all your friends, and you look to people, okay? I think about social media, what I feel, okay, allegedly, is that, well, I'll hit the schools later, all right? But what I'm going to say is, would you allow your kids to go to school and spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day with a P, one of them dirty people, an R, one of those predators, would you allow them to sit with terrorists at lunchtime? Would you, allow them to sit with violent people? No, you wouldn't, would you? But you let them go on social media where they are totally influenced by all these people, okay? The druggies, the suicide, trying to get everybody to kill themselves off. And, it's just not on. And that's social media. That's what you've let them do. And I can tell you as well, your kids are on social media, even when you believe that they're not, they're on it through the night when they go to bed. They spend more time being educated by social media people than they do in their own school. So that's the impact, okay? And I kind of get a sense as well that, these males are wanting the approval of females, that they, apparently, do we have more rights than them? I don't think so, it's equal opportunities. But yeah, I do. I feel like, in that sense, social media is doing this to you. And also, as well, I'm aware that schools are now telling you, you can go as a girl or a boy, it's up to you. That is crackers, absolutely crackers. I mean, they're 4 and 3 years old and they're being told that. And another thing that I came across not so long ago on February the 14th, a nursery with a 1-year-old was directed by his to the parents to send him in pink or red. Pink or red, what is all that about? It's as if, well, I just think it's unhealthy, okay? A child needs direction, love, structure, family, and guidance. Most importantly, guidance. I was a single parent for years with my boy, and I used to send him to all the latest clubs and school holidays because in a way it helped me as well with childcare. And I once said to him, he was only about 7, I think, and he went to play for a real famous team. They have like these sports day things. Anyway, he went and I said, how did it go? And he went, they kept kicking the ball at me. So I was like, I said, yeah, but you was in goal. You was in the goal. Anyway, he didn't like it. But he liked other things like playing a guitar. So, yeah, you're not always going to throw a football at somebody and say, this is your gender, this is what you're supposed to do. My son liked music and singing, by the way. So, and I encouraged those things. But by telling, if I'd have told him, you can wear a dress today, or, you can go, I mean, before you know it, the schools are going to have gender parties, aren't they? Celebrating diversity. And, I mean, honestly, get some maths down, yeah, literacy and a bit of science, and, try a language. Keep yourself busy. As well, kids have got too much time on their hands. They really have. I believe that, as a kid when I was growing up, I hung out at the churches and jumble sales that was in the churches and graveyards, work there, distributing the flowers equally to all, even the ones that had been looked, that they hadn't been for 20 years, talking to them, saying their stories, listening. And so, yeah, but we also went apple trudding. We'd go for walks for miles with a pack up. We'd go biking, cycling, we'd do all sorts, and we'd get up to mischief as well. I remember my next door neighbour robbed a bloody trolley and put me in it and swung me around for an hour. I was sick of as a dog. But, we had all those things as well. We would walk miles. You wouldn't get a bus to go walk 7 miles to see your grandma. You would walk, You would walk to school, even though it was like, I don't know, even in further, maybe about 9 miles. You would walk there. You would walk back, you'd be in your groups. Do they have that? No. No, they don't. They have PlayStations. They have iPhones. They have Facebook, Instagram. What are the dangers, the dangers of men trying to transition? And we're talking about full-on operations here as well, getting castrated and using the banders, the breast banders, that's the girls' side, taking blockers so you don't develop. I mean, and people are sanctioning this from the highest level. You can only get this from the doctors and the doctor's advice. They're too scared to say anything. Let's ask that then. How does, the doctors feel about, trans issues? Undercover, undercover of darkness. It's like they don't feel free to speak out, because anytime that anybody does, they're labelled with, they're slagged off. They get labelled, they get called out, they get struck off. So it's very difficult, I think, for the medical profession to speak out. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to say to you, it's not a physical issue. it is a mind one, okay? It's a mind one. It's conditioning. And I mean, the fact that you've got adults, you know, my age and upwards, I'm talking about the, you know, the new generations where internet came in and stuff like that. We had libraries. I mean, certainly the fact that, you know, a bloke can insist on going into a women's prison because he feels female, he identifies. I mean, what's all that about? You either are or you're not, okay? You either are or you're not. And do you know what? I don't mind counselling the young ones about it, but these older ones who have got, you know, very dark reasons and motives for wanting to go into a woman's prison when you've just been done for the R word, you know, and you've beaten women to a pulp. Now, get this then. Now, he identifies as a woman and as a baby, and they have to, I mean, this is uproar, and it's in the bloody, I think it was Scotland, or the UK, it's our end, and he identifies as a baby, he has to be fed so often, I mean, you know, I ain't even going to ask if they change his diaper. I mean, it's just, you know, you couldn't behave like that in a men's prison at all. You'd get, you know, attacked, and you would. There's no doubt about it. You know, they don't like things like that. So, you know, so you've got your crazies on the go who are making it dangerous. And then you've got the others that want to compete in a women's sport. Well, I tell you what, the simplest one is basically, if you're a man, you go in your man's race. If you're a woman, you go in your woman's race. And if you want to race against women, then you can have, you know, mixed sex or unisex. Unisex was a word, you know, for in between. So, you know, I just think, well, women will just stop competing, you know. Women, you know, they're not going to compete against men at all. It's just... So, like, derogatising them, you know, demeaning them, that's what I mean, demeaning them. Now, what is a woman? What is a woman? Well, I'll be honest with you, she's one with a vagina, okay? He's got a you know, that other word, penis, that's one. And your gender is assigned at birth, bearing in the 0.01% where the sex hasn't been identified, the genitalia has not been identified correctly at birth, because it would take sometimes, you know, it'd take a while to show, and then it can be corrected. But a physician, you know, says your birth gender at birth, and that's it. And if you do go and transition, you know, like some have, then you have the right to sort of like go back and do something with your birth certificate and maybe change it or get it amended, okay? But yeah, I just feel like, I mean, this is just taking things too far, you know, and now the trans are trying to link up with the LGBT. How do the LGBT feel about trans issues? Yeah, you know, it's denying an underlying truth, you know. LGBT, I've got a gay daughter. Is she gay? No, she's both. She's lesbian and gay. They use them words, don't they, you know. But it was quite apparent for us when she was younger that she was more inclined towards the same sex, let's say, okay, the same sex. And, you know, for her, I still think that, you know, when she goes on holiday, I have to remind her that that certain country may not tolerate a same-sex relationship, and you could get into trouble. Now, I do feel, you know, that needs to be kind of looked at, okay? Well, maybe not even kind of, you know. I'm not aware of anybody being hung or executed from the UK for doing it, but, you know, in other countries they absolutely are. So, you know, I don't know, it's maybe we can't do much about it and wait for the rest of the world to catch on. But I just feel like this trans explosion, you know, is about society, education, parenting, because I know my daughter, you know, she takes her kids to school, and she is witnessing that, you know, the grandbairn is able to choose his gender, you know, and to dress up in costumes, female costumes. Well, that's fine, you know, that's fine, because in a way, well, the dressing up is, because as long as he knows it's play dress. But she's trying to do the best she can, and she's so terrified of not being a good mum. Yeah, okay, she absolutely is a wonderful mum. Okay, absolutely, she's honest to God. You can just see how, you know, happy the kids are, and you know, so I'm very proud of her. But she's taking direction from the teachers, you know. Their teachers, and then when Grandad goes in and says, "What's he wearing girls' shoes for?" She's like, the teacher said he can, you know, he can do this. So it's a bit wrong, really. And obviously she's young and hasn't got the experience. So she's been influenced as well. Now, if she's been influenced, then other parents are as well, of school children and nursery. Okay. What do LGBT? Well, you know, I think there's a connection for a sense of loudness in music. However, LGBT people like Pride, you know, they're all celebrating things, you know, diversity, inclusivity, and all the other name things. So that what I see from the LGBT is that most of it is very positive, okay? Very positive. And I don't think you should hide behind the, you know, closet. If you love somebody, you know, of the same sex, you shouldn't have to feel the shame. And I also believe that the LGBT, when they're fighting for the rights, like, you know, if they're married, whether they get recognised for a pension or widows, you know, if anything happens to the children, the mother, you know, all kinds like that. So equalising the rights. My problem is with the trans movement is they just seem to be all over the place. They're very disruptive from what I gather, and they're not, it's like they're set out to, you know, kind of diminish a woman. No, there's a person called Kelly J something, or Keane, that's it, and she's in the UK and she's fighting for it, you know, on this. I mean, it's just, it can't be allowed to sort of like go too far. I mean, you want to wear women's clothes, that's fine, you know. Tell the manufacturers you can wear whatever you like. And they'll even come out with unisex clothes if that's what you want as well. So you can wear, I mean, blokes have started wearing makeup in the past few years. I mean, all right, superstars, pop stars used to do it as well. Yes, I just feel like here they've got two separate agendas, and really they have, because, you know, your sexuality is not gender ID, okay? Your sexuality is about which you prefer, male or female, okay? So they're quite... I think as well, though, there's been like an underhand movement. Look, you've got the Seven of Cups, you know, things being hidden, not being able to, like, they're afraid of being truthful about what they think. And then the LGBT as well, I think, you know, there's something going off there. So with trans maybe trying to move in and gain that support as well. You don't have to be gay or a lesbian to want to be a woman, you know, want to be a woman. It just amazes me. What do these males think they're going to achieve by becoming a woman? Yeah, look at that, you know, look at that. So, you know, you haven't got the breasts. They've got balls, okay? And so... look, they're looking for security, okay? They're looking for something physical, a label to take away these feelings that they're insecure, they don't feel socially accepted. I mean, this is what social media is doing to our children, okay? I mean, it's not alone. You got the teachers, you got the ill advice of the doctors, the do-gooders, the movements, you know, you've got it. These people, it's a fight. It's a proper fight that they're going to have to fight through. So they do this under the mispretense that being a woman is going to make them feel better. If you, right, no matter what, you're in that skin. Your body is full of skin and you're in it. You can't just shed off that skin without bleeding, okay, to become something that you thought was going to make you feel better. And in actual fact, you know, in years gone by, you absolutely regret it. Men have the highest rate of suicides in the UK, okay. We are talking a substantial amount, between 22 and 27, I think, of every 100,000. Well, you work that out on a 6 million, no, 67, 68, 69 million people. That is a hell of a lot. And it's mainly, you've got a big percentage of your young ones. The middle seems to be okay. And then you get to late 40s to 55, and it's prevalent then. So these men do have issues, okay? Some of these may... But, you know, I mean, you don't have to think that you want to be a woman to have these problems. You can have problems all over. So we're going to look at the men and the problems, okay? How do men feel towards the opposite sex? The trans males, or just in general? I think, right, so the men feel in general, okay, allegedly, that women have a better time of it, okay? Women have a better time of it. You've got the old traditions that the man went to work and the woman, you know, stayed at home with the kids and was a homemaker. You know, all those things are now because of equal opportunities and obviously further developments with women, you know, wanting to take a stand and going to work as well. Okay, that's all very good, but where does it leave the man? Okay, where does it leave the man when he's stuck? He's stuck and he doesn't know what to do. Well, you know, why would he go and do a 60-hour week worth of work when he comes home and his missus is sat on her ass and hasn't done anything all day and has no excuse, okay, like an illness or disability? How do they feel about, you know, it's all one way they feel, you know. I asked somebody, a young lad, and I asked him what he thought is, you know, for his take on things. And what it shocked me. He said, well, you don't know what to do with a woman anymore. You don't know. It's all about the approach. He said, you don't know how to approach them. So I said, what do you mean? So he said, well, do you ask them out, don't you? You know, I mean, I know somebody who went on holiday with his girlfriend, and because he was so respectful, because that's what he's been brought up to be, and obviously all the social media stories where people get accused of things, he'd been on holiday for a week, came home and his girlfriend dumped him because she didn't think he was interested in her because he was very, very respectful, okay? And he said, well, I was frightened. I was scared. So I said, that's all right. And then another thing, he went, if you haven't got a car, if you haven't got a well-paid job, if you haven't got the looks, you know, he said, all these girls, they have a massive shopping list, he said, and they're just, you know, they've got such high expectations. Now, these are the younger generation, okay? Although I confess I had a mate years ago, and she, you know, she had a shopping list and she met somebody and she got it. And I just thought, every single one, by the way, every single one. And she did real well. So, and I thought, I couldn't do that, you know. I have to go with love first. I'm a romantic Piscean, you know. I have to have that feeling, that connection, not a shopping list. So I married a purper. I love him. So, and together we've worked as a team and we've got a nice home and we've got beautiful children, lovely family, you know, we're all about our families. And so I count myself very lucky. I couldn't fake it, I'm afraid. I could not fake a relationship like that, based on means and money. So, you know, so yeah, that's Girls of Today. We've created a... I'm not blaming the parents whatsoever, but, you know, I'm a parent, so when you do all you can do, it's give them everything that they need, the extra lessons, the attention, the clothes, all the gifts, you know, all the internet safety stuff, like, not safety, is it? Bloody iPhones and access to the internet, and, you know, you got your movies, you know, anytime, and kids can have takeaway whenever they want it, practically. You know, it's quite often, I've heard before, where my son came in and he went, oh, I said, your dad's made his famous sausage casserole, and he went, oh, I'm ordering a pizza. I'm ordering a pizza. And I was like, yeah, but it's real nice. And then his dad will say, I can't believe he's done that. And I'll say, well, whatever, it'll say for tomorrow. But you know, so yeah, from the boys' perspective, I think it is. I think it's, you know, women get all that way. So is it that men can't demands, you know, make demands like a woman can? I think that's how they see the shift. Okay, so all these things about transitioning are full of other people as well, you know, other people. We didn't have it in our day. We didn't have the internet. We hardly had a telephone. And do you remember them things? Not fax machines. It'll come to me. But there was telex, was it? Telex machines. You know, oh, he was real pleased if you could get that message across. I remember sending one to Iceland and was amazed when it came back. So, you know, yeah, I just feel like, and as well, they've got too much choice. How do girls feel about transitioning? From pride to it's about, you know, about fitting in. I kind of see that the girls have got it a lot easier here, okay, compared to the thoughts and feelings of a male that wishes to it is in that kind of way, okay, in the shopping for a boyfriend kind of way, or meeting a partner, then I feel like they've got it on their side, okay. So I can see now the inequality where women think they've got their lot, really. But at the end of the day, you know, you've still got the family bringing you up, teaching you about marriage, teaching you about the kids, and family. So I feel like they're trying to get approval, you know. Walk in one day, hi mum and dad, I'm trans. You know, what do parents do? I tell you what, the first thing the dad thinks, it's a phase. It's a phase. The mum will try and talk to them. So I think, you know, this is more acceptable to parents, that it can be talked about, okay? Not that it should be done. Is anybody going to stop all this madness? Okay, is anybody going to stop all this madness? The longer it goes on, you know, I'm getting rods for your own back, okay? Rods for your own back. I do feel like, you know, it's the parents' job to discuss this. I feel it's the parents' duty to discuss this, okay? But you've got a fight on your hands, haven't you, when, you know, your kid comes home from school and says, yeah, but Mrs. So-and-so said I can. I don't know if we have any homeschooling here, but do you know what? If I thought, I would take them out. I would take them out of school, okay? I would take them out of school. You know, not only are these bad people with on the social media, you know, they're seeped into our education system and our laws. It's going to take a hell of a lot, but, you know, you can see, can't you? You know, this bloke's got his fancy women's gloves on, okay? But he's still not going to be happy. So I suppose what we're waiting for is, you know, we have got an implosion at the moment where it seems to be quite fashionable as well to, you know, out yourself as trans. But let's face it, you are what you are, you know. You are what you are. You're a male. You're a male by your birth certificate. And if you go into prison, you'll be in a male's prison. You know, it's just the sense. I mean, for women are being asked to justify, you know, what makes you a woman. Hello. We got God, Adam and Eve. Okay, there was no confusion there. Look at your genitalia. Look at your birth certificate. Look at all your medical, reasons. Because quite often, none of these children or young adults have identified themselves, you know, at 6 years old. I mean, for it to start, I've heard some reports of a 4-year-old, you know, trying to identify as a girl. Oh my God, that's just, you know, it's child abuse. It is child abuse. And I mean, to that kid, he don't know whether he likes mash or boiled potatoes at 4 years old, does he? So, you know, why would you give him a life-changing decision, you know? Or even say, well, you know, explain it, like, what's going on and how it impacts on you. You know, I'm telling you, these social media companies are radicalising our kids and our grandchildren, you know, and the longer it goes on, the worse. But what I was meant to say, thank you very much, what I was meant to say is you've got people going through it now. What we're going to get is a lot more people who have been through it and have regretted it, and they will call for a change in the law themselves. So it's as if they kind of bring an end to themselves, you know, and they'll be hated for it by their own group. Will the laws be changed in the UK to protect women? You don't want, you know, to have to share a shower room in, you know, the leisure centre when you've gone swimming with a bloke, do you? Well, you don't, you know. It's intimidating, and it's, you know, well, it's awful. It's intimidating, you know, and it upsets people. As well, women don't feel safe. Their safety, they just feel threatened. Okay, and even I myself are starting to, you know, when you're struggling to say, well, what is a woman? There's something gone wrong. And if, like, at my age, we're so like struggling to make sense of it, then we can do a little to change it. I mean, we've got some good uns out there. We've got some good uns fighting. It's not about a transition. It's about the threat of a female, an adult human female. And that's what we are. No matter what, it'll never change. Will laws be passed to protect the rights of women? Bloody hell. Bloody hell. You know, I think the males are going to come out and say that they're hard done by. I've got the hanged man here. I think, you know, wearing makeup and clothes is totally different to transitioning, where you have your body parts done. I think, you know, there's a wrong way about it. You know, there's a wrong way about it. I see this as being quite a problem, unfortunately, for some time to come, you know. Everybody now, you know, you had your racism where everybody was afraid to make a comment, and now, you know, you're afraid to mention the trans debate. Even I was, you know, concerned about doing it, but having, like I said, you know, considered this in depth for a few weeks, I kind of feel like I can justify what I'm saying. So right now, what is going to be the outcome then for this implosion of, the trans movement? What is going to, be the outcome for the trans movement? I think as time goes by as well, less funding, I think they can sort of like reduce them. I think attempts to reduce the numbers here and the movements of the gang. I mean, I don't know. There was some debate. That was it. It was a rally for females in the UK, not to be afraid to speak out. Oh, only unindated. The police had to stay there with, I think it was 4 horses and the police to hold off the trans group trying to stop women talking so they can shout their mouths off. I mean, some of this is organised, so, there's an element of trouble causing where people just want to jump on the bandwagon. And I think it's a disgrace. I'm repulsed by it, actually. So, yeah, I hope over time this can move on, I hope the dangers become more talked about than the apparent benefits of doing this, If you don't feel accepted, you've got to sort of like, with any kind of body dysmorphia, gender dysmorphia, anything like that, you must go through all the hoops, okay? You must go through all the hoops so we can rule out if there's something underlying, it is the psychological condition that's underlying. Like I said, this isn't physical, it's in your mind. And if it's in your mind, okay, apart from, it's nothing like schizophrenia, bipolar, and multiple personalities or all like that. It's this is about how they feel with themselves, and I think work has to be done on that. Have you been affected? Do you consider yourself to be a victim? I mean, get a victim club for men who want to be women. I tell you, you'll be sold out. I just, I do know it's hard for men, and I appreciate that, and I do, and I see how it's all going, and women are more dominant than ever. You just have to look at Harry and Meghan, for an example. So, you might not agree with me, but that's how I see it, that unfortunately, those afflicted are going to have to suffer and then talk about the suffer and the more trauma, because there's only a person like that who can truly understand, all the facets of it. And that's where we have to look to be learning from, is the people, who have been through it, and it's, they consider it to be the worst mistake they ever made in their life, because, at the end of the day, you can't really go back, you can't go back. So it is a shame, it really is, and I do hope things get resolved, and I hope that, we can, like I say, learn from it, but just be, aware, like I said, with the classroom example, you wouldn't sit them with ours, you wouldn't sit them with druggies, you wouldn't sit them with offenders, you wouldn't sit them with radicals, terrorists, poisoners, violent thugs. You wouldn't, but yet they spend more time in school on the internet with all those people, and a lot, double the time that they would in a school, okay, they would in a school, and they've got all the mates egging them on as well, I mean, these kids, don't feel able to tell the truth to their friends, they just go along with things. It's peer pressure, and their behaviour becomes more and more extreme. So, this isn't a good thing at all. It's not healthy for them. And, well, take what you like from it, but, have an open mind, be supportive, be supportive. I'm aware some of you will have a child who's non-binary or trans, or, I mean, the sad fact is, if they can't accept who they are, their gender, what they are, and even the sexuality at some point, then they're going to lead very, very unhappy lives. And it's a shame that we need more victims of this to come out and teach the world, that this isn't a good thing. And the numbers are far too many to just be a one-off, okay? And if you look at teenage suicides, suicides in general between 20, 21 and 22, because of the COVID, they didn't do the research, so the numbers wasn't accurate, and the numbers are astonishing enough. So can you imagine, we're going up we're 10% of 67 million people at least will attempt suicide, I'm afraid, because of all this choice and confusion. We need to be guided, we need direction, and that's from a very, very young age. Okay, guys, let me know your thoughts, and I'll be back soon with another reading. Bye now. Bye-bye.